You alright, guys? It's Gangrene UK, episode 5, 1 week on from the draft, and I'm here with Otis, Kane, and James, and we're going to talk about some of the draft picks. We're going to start off with the number 2 pick.
The number 2 pick, the New York Jets select quarterback Zach Wilson out of BYU University.
Woo! The best kept secret in football, obviously.
Yeah.
Right, so how are we then, guys? How are we all feeling about that pick?
Good. Yeah. Pretty happy to be there.
There, guys. I'm loving it.
Yeah, very, very pleased. I think it's safe to say he can make every throw, left and right. Arms, fantastic. Off platform, brilliant. There's some weaknesses there. Needs to improve in his reading ability in terms of processing a defense quickly. Doesn't always do the best under pressure. But yeah, there's a lot of potential there and a lot of room to grow. The red zone is going to be an interesting area for him. I think with his bit of dual threat ability and his improvement in reading defenses, I think he'll become a very, very accurate red zone quarterback, which will help us.
Nice. What are your thoughts on him, Kane?
Where to start? I think I'll just first.
That's all good. It's interesting what Otis mentions, like his red zone, because obviously he was the highest graded quarterback in 2020 in 2-minute drills, like 92.3, which sounds pretty epic. Then there's always the argument of the quality of people that he played, which we've had this many times. We've all chatted about it. Being in a mediocre team, playing against mediocre people is exactly the same. Does anybody have any concerns about Zach? James, what about you?
Yeah, I was, to be honest, I was on the Fields train. Oh yeah, I've wanted Fields for a while, but I've watched the Wilson film, and the ball does fly out of his hand, and he is an exhilarating quarterback to watch, especially the 2020 film. He just throws it over defenders, he's on the run, anything. The only worrying thing I'd say is if any of you watched the Coastal game last year, it was a big game that got arranged at the end of the year, and none of them played well. The whole team didn't play well, but he had a pretty rough game in general. Couldn't move the ball on him and whatnot. But apart from that, pretty stellar year last year. Yeah.
I think the only bit that I think he really needs to improve is the down-to-down recognition. They're just the in and out fundamentals of it. When he's off script, he's fantastic. He's very accurate, everything else. But taking what's in front of him, I think sometimes he's not the best at. Like that quick trigger, let's go. There's 10 yards there. Let's just take 10 yards. Let's go. Just launch the ball. Let's go. No messing around. No try to improvise. Just get the ball out your hand when you're supposed to at the right time and just hit your guy. His accuracy is great, but he just needs to, especially, again, like I said before, in the red zone, that'll show up, I think. He's got to make sure he's making those quick reads in the red zone. His accuracy is perfect for that. He fits the ball into tight windows. It's just making the decision quickly and keying in on the defense quickly.
Well, he had 56 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions in 2020. And he had 3,690 yards.
Yeah. And that's not including his legs either, is it? Because I think he run in for, was it 10, 15 touchdowns last year as well?
So, yeah. Rushing attempts.
Yeah.
200 rushing attempts. 15 touchdowns.
15 TDs over his career on his leg.
My only fear with him running is he's got a really bad habit of not sliding.
Oh.
Yeah. Head first.
And
Josh Allen.
I don't want to see him try and hurdle like a 300-pound lineman at all. I would rather him slide down and take the yardage. I'm happy with the pick. I think it's a great pick. I think he's got the chip on his shoulder that a lot of people don't think he has.
Yeah.
He loves football. I think he might even love it more than his girlfriend, which we've all mentioned. We've all seen her. Now, I know it came across the group. I'm trying to think what day it was, over the last couple of days, about the wristband.
Yeah.
you all know that he wore wristbands during college. And it was a big thing. Do you know what he used to have wrote on them?
No.
So for the first half of last season, it was leave a legacy. And then for the second half, it was prove them wrong.
Nice.
You've got to think he wasn't highly sought after coming out of high school.
No.
He actually decided, because none of the Utah colleges came after him, because they were both committed to scholarship quarterbacks, he took Boise State and was going to go to Boise, and then the head coach changed at BYU, and then they approached him. And he was in the meeting for 2 hours, and it was a done deal, I reckon. He went in, he wanted to play there. His dad was a Ute, played defensive tackle, and growing up, Zach was an all-lineman, and then decided he didn't want to get hit anymore. His dad helped him transition to quarterback, and he was a point guard in basketball. So he's got the composure. I think he's got the intelligence. He's got the drive. Great pick all in all. So then the second pick, Otis, do you want to tell us who we picked?
So with pick 23 of the first round, we picked Elijah Vera Tucker, offensive guard from USC.
So Elijah Vera Tucker, did we overpay?
No way.
Did we overpay?
What did we?
Time will tell, I suppose, but I don't think so. You get the man to protect your franchise quarterback, don't you? Really, that's a great move.
It was 2 third-round picks, wasn't it, to move up? I think,
Just,
it's a good one, isn't it? What was that, Ken?
wasn't it 2 second round?
No, 2 thirds.
2/3.
Oh.
I mean, I'm okay with it. I think we paid what we needed to pay to get the best guard in the draft.
Yeah.
What, like any Jets fan over the last 6 months, we need a guard. We need to fix the O-line. No matter what, we have to fix the O-line. Well, okay, we'll trade 3 picks and get the best player we possibly can.
Yeah.
And then they go, oh, we overpaid. When we get further through, I think we can argue, well, we can prove to everybody why we didn't overpay. I mean, AVT's got, well, the coolest name in football, AVT. He sounds like he's going to attack Predator. But it's very, very rare that you see a 6'4", 315-pound bloke move like a ballerina.
Yeah.
He's a dual sport athlete as well. He puts down his speed to the fact he grew up playing football, soccer.
Yeah.
And that's why he's got fast legs. And I'm excited to see what he can do, because that left side now, lethal.
Yeah.
I'm just, if I'm a running back, I'm sitting behind them two and go, come on, keep going. We've got 2 very, very fast linemen on that side for linemen.
Yeah. 2 big people moves, aren't they? And I think the other thing that's nice with AVT is the fact that it's a slightly different mold to Becton. Becton was all sort of power and speed and sheer brute size, with very much the knock on him being he didn't necessarily have all the technique. Whereas I think the opposite can be said with AVT. Although he's got amazing athleticism in terms of speed, he isn't the most powerful guy, but his athleticism, his technique is off the charts. He is a pure technician. He gets his hands in the right place. He beats you with his punch. He anchors well in pass protect. Everything he does is just very, very efficient in terms of technique, which I think not only will help him succeed very quickly, but will also be good for Becton, who's next to him, and sort of seeing someone like that that's really honed the technician side of the game.
He's only given up 5 sacks over his college career as well.
Yeah.
31.
31 games, isn't it? He's played over the 3 years or something.
Yep.
Played a lot of positions on the line as well, I think. He's had to play left tackle and done pretty well against Notre Dame, I think, last year.
Yeah, he played left tackle, left guard, and maybe right guard, did he?
Yeah, I think he's
Couple of games
built
at
in a
right
couple
guard.
positions, to be fair. So,
I mean,
versatility.
it's one of them. A few people saying he's not worth it, right? In 2019, he was Pac-12 All-American second team. In 2020, he was Pac-12 All-American first team, right? You don't get up and accidentally become an All-American. You have to week in, week out, deliver at a high standard. I think he's going to be.
as well.
I think he's going to be a bit of a game changer in the league because
He'll be a game changer for Zach Wilson, that's for sure. Hitting a wide receiver when you're stood on your feet's a lot easier than hitting a wide receiver when you're running for your life.
Mhm.
And especially with what the if you look at what the Bills and Miami did in the draft as well, it makes even more sense. You know, the Miami went for arguably the most natural pass rusher in the entire draft. The Bills added more defensive weapons again on the front seven. I think keeping Wilson upright is going to be priority number one, and is going to be a challenge even with AVT. There's going to be sacks given up this season, especially in the division. The fronts are so good.
You're going to have to move him as well because he's going to be all over the place. Running all over the place.
Video yesterday of George Fant's off-season gains. That man is a beast. Like, I think he's kind of got to the point now where he realizes that he is starting right tackle and he needed to get a bit more strength on him.
Mhm.
But man, like him at the gym yesterday with Lewis, his arms are bigger than like most people's legs. I feel like we're in a really nice place with the O-line.
Yep, so do I.
And then obviously that ended our day one dalliance with the draft. Day two, like what was it, like the most valuable pick in football, because everybody knew Jacksonville were going to take their pick, and then at 34, the Jets received 9 calls, I think it was, from 9 different teams to move up, and apparently some of the offers were very, very tasty. But then, Kane, what happened at 34?
Drafted Elijah Moore, wide receiver. Oh, I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
What are we thinking about Moore? Or more?
He ran a 3.240 time, so fast as hell. He's got a career 189 catches, 2,441 yards, and 16 touchdowns over 3 years. He's also got 71 rushing yards, so because they move him about a lot in the formation, so he does a lot of rushing as well.
I can't wait to see the Jets 4 wide formations. The Jets 4 wide is going to be ridiculous. If they start lining up with Mims, Corey Davis, Jameson Crowder, and then Elijah Moore, and if you put them, it's going to be the Kansas City Chiefs situation. If you put Elijah Moore in motion, you don't know if Wilson's going to hand him the ball. You don't know if it's going to be directly snapped to him. You don't know if Wilson's going to catch it and bubble screen it to him, or whether he's just a complete distraction. It's going completely the other way to Mims on a streak down the side of the field. It's just going to be nutty. The options he gives you as a playmaker is insane. You're going to see that kid with the ball in his hands in so many different ways. Backfield, sweeps, reverses, motions. Yeah, he's going to be all over the place.
That makes me feel really like excited inside, knowing though that we have a coach that probably has all of those players in his playbook.
Yeah.
I mean, the last one didn't even have colouring to go with his freaking crayons.
Well, you saw him use it with Deebo Samuel, didn't you? Like
Yes.
we're talking about an offense that had Deebo Samuel in it, that rushed, that run, that anything. Samuel did everything. If Moore can do that in his first year, fantastic. If he then takes on more of a role again when Crowder passes to another team potentially the year after, he's got brilliant options. Crowder's a great technician as well. It's going to teach him how to get open with technique, not with just speed. Because let's be honest, he's got the speed to just go for days. Speed's not going to be an issue. It's going to be getting open in his fundamentals, and they're already pretty good.
The question is, what round do you take him in fantasy? because Elijah Moore has got the potential to be CMC.
I don't think you take him in fantasy this year, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to take one rookie, don't you? Just
there's too many big-bodied guys for the Jets. They're going to be too good in the red zone. If I was going to, so interesting. Jets rookie that I'd take is actually coming up next. That would be the guy I'd take.
Right.
Never just add.
More thoughts on Elijah and James?
Yeah, I'm not really looking forward to it, to be fair. He was the vocal point of the Ole Miss offense this season, really. So, yeah.
You were going to add something then, Kane. What was that, mate?
He finished the season with a score record of 86 receptions for 1,198 yards, 8 touchdowns in 8 games before opting out the final game as well.
Yeah, it's fantastic, isn't it? I don't think there's any reason why he can't be the next wide receiver coming into the NFL that goes over 100 catches. I don't necessarily think he'll do it in his first year, just purely based on the fact that Crowder's there and he's still going to be playing. He's still likely to be ahead of him, I think, or at least level with him in slot. But yeah, I think 100 reception sort of year is not an issue for Moore, to be honest.
I think the year before as well, he didn't get as many catches because DK and AJ were still there, weren't they? DK and AJ.
Me and you had, I think it was on the group chat where we had a chat about it the other day. He has just went exponentially more and more up as he was put further forward. One video that I think we need to kind of show is his actual draft call with AJ Brown, and just the way that AJ talks about him.
Yeah,
I mean, we've said it before. JD has a type. The last 3 players that we've mentioned, all team captains.
Yeah,
all very, very academically gifted as well as physically gifted. He's got a type, and I think we're in a really good place going with that.
Yeah, agreed.
Well, Salah in one of his interviews was saying that he wants players that love football.
Yeah. Moore definitely does that.
Mm-hmm.
He makes everybody around him better by driving them, which that's exactly what we need. I mean, I think if he comes into camp and there's any doubt about Crowder at all, Crowder could be the casualty in it. But I think it all depends on how camp plays out. I think Crowder's very, very good, and we should be looking at keeping him this year.
Yeah.
But 9 million, I could see it being moved around.
The other thing as well, I think, is exactly what you just said. Moore is going to increase competition and competency in that wide receiver room. We think Crowder's been good the last 2 years, and Jets fans have been like, oh, Crowder's been brilliant. We've had loads of receptions. He's done great and all the rest of it. Imagine if Crowder goes, hang on a minute, guys. You've just drafted a slot receiver that's supposed to be pretty good. Let's remember, I'm damn good. And what if Crowder gets better? What if Crowder goes, no, kid, you ain't ready for this. This is my position. And he steps up, because if a Crowder steps up more than he did last year, that's insane.
Yeah, I mean, I would take that. I mean, Moore has lined up outside as well, and like you said, he's played from backfield and all sorts. So it's an exciting pick that nobody thought was coming. I mean, even I on draft night thought it was going to be a cornerback or a trade. But I'm not disappointed at all.
It makes the 4 wide set so exciting, doesn't it? So that's the bit that you got to get excited about. Is the idea of having all 4. Forget about whether Crowder or Moore's the starter. When you start saying, all right, we're going to go with 1 running back by Wilson, so you've got the running option, and then you've got Elijah Moore, who's a second running option, and you've got Elijah Moore catching option, Crowder catching option, Mims and Davis. It's just like stupid, ridiculous.
Right, so that's the first 3 picks of this draft, guys. Join us next time for the next few picks in the draft.